So good morning once again. So kindly load these packages. If you encounter an error with a particular package, most possibly, guys, you haven't installed that, so you know how to install a particular package. Make use of the install that packages and then identify the package, and then that's the time you get to load the package itself. So those of you who had questions about, okay, for now, okay. How about for John and Mark? I think si Mark then my question about that. Mark, were you able to resolve that? Not yet. Okay, so there are some of you who are okay with the package. A few of you are not able to do so. Okay, so sige, okay lang naman. Read R is used usually for downloading, no? some data set. Okay, so those of you who are not able to access yung read R, anyway, just continue first with loading the other packages. So siguro we will be needing this when we upload some data externally from our own computers. So in the meantime, okay lang naman. Okay, so were all of you able to load these packages? In particular, siya, kung kakailangan natin itong first three, ano? Gapminder maybe not today, okay, and the others, but these are the most important ones. NYC flights, ggplot2, and Outlier. Okay. All right. So kindly chat, guys, if it's okay for me to proceed. Kung okay na yung pag-load na ng packages. If you're ready, guys, kindly chat yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mark, RJ, Larry. Thank you. Right, very good, very good. Thank you so much, guys, for your immediate feedback. All right, so let's continue our discussion. So far, what we have discussed were how to plot, use ggplot2 in order to come up with data visualization. Diba, we have already finished yung scatter plot, diba? Ano yung susunod na tinignan natin, guys? Scatter plot, and then kindly unmute na lang yourself, guys. What were the other geometric objects that we learned so far? The first was scatter plot, diba? And it's used to plot two numerical variables. Ano pa yung iba, guys, na which we learned before? Bar, okay. Line graphs, okay, for time series, no? So, bar, histogram, diba? Right, nag-histogram tayo last time, okay? So we have scatter plot, and then histogram. What can we plot with the histogram? What type of data? Ang histogram ba pwedeng categorical data? Yes, thank you, Angel. Histogram, violin plots, ang violin plot related sa histogram. Can you plot a categorical data with a histogram? Guys, pwede ba? Okay, thank you, Kazia. Yes, only numerical value. Hindi pa pwedeng, ano, you cannot use a histogram to plot a character, no? A character data type. Okay? Alright. Pag line graph naman, ano yung pinaplot natin using line graph? Univariate Univariate ba ang line graph or bivariate? Anyone? You can just unmute yourself, guys. Raise your hand or chat. Line graph, guys, kailan ginagamit? Anong univariate ba to? Bivariate? And if so, what type of data? Hello, guys? You should know this, no? Kasi pag hindi nyo alam kung when to use a particular plot, magkakamali tayo, hindi mag-generate ng plot yan. Kaya ginamit nyo yung isang categorical lang sa historical, sa histogram. Okay, so, any answer, guys? Pag line graph, ano yung ginagamit natin para sa yan? Line graph? Ang line graph ba categorical? Yes. Two numerical, yes. Pero, yes, bivariate, correct. Pero, ano yung type ng data ang pwede natin gamitin yung line graph? You're correct, bivariate siya, dalawang numerical. So, hindi pa pwedeng categorical. Okay, yung isa, it should be a time index, no? Dapat may order yung data natin. Okay? So, technically guys, isang ano lang yan, no? Isang data lang yan, univariate lang siya talaga. Pero may order yung data, no? So sometimes sinasabi nilang bivariate siya kasi nga yung data natin cannot be arranged randomly. Kasi pag cross-sectional yung data natin, kunyari survey kayo you're getting some data. Tapos it doesn't matter kung when you order your data, it doesn't matter kung mauna yung observation 1 or observation 100, it doesn't matter. Pero when you're, for example, getting data about the let's say GDP of a particular country from 1970 up to 2020, okay, it makes sense that the data is ordered chronologically from 1970 hanggang 2020. It doesn't make sense to put 2020 data first and then 2015 and then 1989. So hindi pa pwedeng random. No? So kailangan may order talaga yung data na yun. So when you have that type of a data, a time series data, then it's best to use a line graph with that. Okay? So sabi natin, yung 5 lane graphs natin, di ba? Yung tatlong minention natin na yan. So next, we're going to look at Boxplots, okay, which I think is a very important plot. Boxplots, and yung fifth natin are bar plots. Yeah. So the 5 named graphs natin, the fourth is your Boxplots. Okay, may mga konting notes ako dito, guys, ano? Sabi natin yung histogram is one type of visualization where we compare the distribution of a numerical variable, okay, which we can split by the values of another variable. Okay, on the other hand, a box plot is constructed from the information provided in the 5-number summary of a numerical variable. What do you mean by 5-number summary? Ito yung first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, okay, maximum, minimum. Ito yung 5-number summary. So here we're going to make use of both the flights data set and the weather data set. Diba? This both come from, saan galing na package to, guys? Yung flights at saka yung weather. Anyone? From which package do these data sets come from? Yes. Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, James, Vicky. Angel, thank you so much. All right, you're correct. It's from the NYC Flights 13, which we started using last time. So kindly load it, guys. So make sure na andyan na yung ano nyo. Okay. Don't compare your global environment with me kasi may mga linode na ako na iba-iba dito. No? Okay, so what we need is the flights. So it should appear in your environment, flights, and the weather. Okay, so there, yeah. Naka-load na dapat siya. Okay, so the glimpse function, guys, is just like the structure. So this is a quick code that gives us the structure of the data. So 26,115 rows and 15 variables. 26,000. So it gives us dollar origin, which means this is the variable origin niya. Character siya, yung year, integer. Okay, yung month, ano lumalabas sa inyo, guys? Factor ba yung lumalabas na month? Paki-chat please, guys, kung yung month lumalabas siya, does it appear as a factor or integer or numerical? Kindly chat please, or kindly unmute yourself. What data type is month? Okay, let's see. All right, integer siya. Okay, integer siya, guys, kasi ginamit ko na kanina to. Kinonvert ko siya into a factor. I was checking the codes. So, okay lang, mamaya we will convert yung sa inyo ng factor. Okay. Sige, let's continue. Okay, so let's first create a box plot. If you look at this ggplot, and again, we have to identify the data. Okay, so as we said before, pwedeng hindi nyo na ilagay yung data. Okay. And then yung mapping, pwedeng hindi na rin nakalagay. R will automatically read that. But it's also good practice, guys, especially pag nagsisimula pa lang tayo. Lagay natin data is equal to whatever the data set is. And mababase yan kasi sabi natin, na-load na natin si weather, di ba? Weather already exists in our environment. And then mapping allows us to define the coordinates. So X is equal to month, and then Y is equal to temperature. Okay, and then plus the object, which is geom boxplot. So let's run this. Okay, magkakaiba tayo, guys, ano? You will see that ano lumalabas sa plot niyo? It will be different from my plot, guys. What appears in your plot? Could you describe, please, what appears in your plot? When we plotted the temperature, yung temperature natin sa Y by month. What appeared in your plot? Okay, thank you, Angel. So how many box plot did you see, Mark? Mark, Angel, RJ, how many box plot did you see? Were there several box plots? Yes. Thank you, Jonas. You have only one single box plot. Okay. Ang intention natin dito, guys, is to... What was our intention? What was our intention? Was to plot the box plot by month. So, iba't ibang months, ano? Okay. Iba't ibang months. However, guys, yung month natin, as I asked you a while ago, what data type is that? It's an integer. No? So hindi niya magawa ng distinction yun kasi integer yung ano yung month. So what we have to do is to convert, okay? We have to convert the month as a factor. So I think I discussed with you what's a factor, guys. A factor is a type of variable that we use for as a classifier. Kasi yung month natin, yung month dun sa inyo guys, it's just an integer. So it's not being used as a factor. So we have to convert that by, you have to convert the integer into a factor. So if you take a look at this guys, sabi dito, yung weather natin na data, in particular the month, okay, we're going to replace it and make it as a factor, weather, month. So pareho pa rin yung pangalan ng variable natin. We're not introducing a new variable. It's the same variable. We're just changing the type from an integer to a factor. So if you run this, guys, if you run this, and then yung glimpse na nyo, makikita nyo na factor na si month. Okay, so you see that here, this is what I showed you a while ago. Yung sa akin kasi, factor na kasi naran ko na yung code na yan. Okay, so kindly chat guys if you already see that your month data, your month variable is already a factor. Kindly chat please if yes na. Thank you, Vicky. Ken, thank you. And God, thank you. Yeah, very good. Very good guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so you now learned how to make a variable, a numerical into a factor, okay, or a character into a factor. All right, so let's proceed now, and then let's plot now, guys. Let's plot now at the same plot. So we're going to map sa x-axis natin month. So we would expect now 12 months. Kasi yung data natin 12 months yun eh. And then naka-plot sa y-axis yung temperature using the box plot. Remember guys, the box plot will give us the first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, the minimum and the maximum. If you run this, you'll now see a box plot with 12 different box plots representing the 12 months. Let's wait for it. How about you guys? Were you able to generate this result already? Below to sa akin, nag-run pa. Who among you guys have already the plot? O meron na kayo, no? Okay, thank you. Sorry guys, medyo matagal sa akin. But you see the difference, guys? Ilang box plots na ngayon yan, guys? Dun sa plots nyo. Was it now plotted by month? Yes, 12 na siya. No? And 12 na siya. And kita nyo guys, ang very powerful si ggplot. The ggplot function. Tagal. Yeah. This, my machine is taking so long. Yeah. Yeah, correct. Thank you. Sometime. Bagal, but kaya dami yata nakaload. Okay. Let me just zoom this. Okay, may warning siya dito, no? Removed one row containing non-finite values. So may missing value. Okay, so we can see here guys, January, February, March, April, May hanggang December. Okay, yung mga different box plots nila. Okay, we know what this means, no? This is from your basic statistics. This one, guys, is your, ano to? What's this, guys? This is your quartile 1, di ba? Or P25. This is your P50, the middle, yung pinakagitna ng mga observations. This is quartile 2, quartile 3. Okay, what's this whisker? You recall this, guys? What's this? Na-recall nyo to, guys, itong distance na to. Anyone? What is that distance, guys? And notice, guys, ito, yung distance na yan, tsaka yung distance na yan, pareho yan. Always the same. Okay? So what's this distance? That's your, okay, interquartile range. Ang interquartile range yung IQR, yung difference na to. It's your quartile 1, quartile 3 minus your quartile 1. That's your IQR. Itong height na to, no? That's your interquartile range. Quartile 3 minus quartile 1. This one, guys, is your 1.5 times IQR, diba? 1.5 times IQR yan. Yan. Okay? So this is 1.5 times IQR. This is 1.5 times IQR. Diba, guys? To generate the whisker, sa top na whisker, it's the quartile 3 plus you add 1.5 IQR. Dito lang sa baba, yung quartile 1 minus 1.5 IQR. Okay, so I have to recall that. Quartile 3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Diba? Okay. So, yung whatever your quartile 3 is, tapos plus 1.5 IQR, that's the point here. But this length here is just 1.5 times IQR. Okay? But this total, itong height na to, yan, quartile 3 plus 1.5 IQR. Okay, and then you have here your, may mga outliers tayo dito, no? This is the maximum. Okay? Tapos ito naman dito, minimum to. Okay, so of course you can change the color of that. Remember, guys, Boxplot, sige, bigay natin color. Diba pag color, guys, yung ano lang, yung outline, let's make it black. And then yung fill, make it, yung ginamit natin last time, still blue. Of course, there are so many different colors. Run natin to. Huwag natin ma-format yung mga box plots natin. So while it's running, guys, okay, alam natin yung bottom line is quartile 1. This is just a very quick review of your basic stat. Okay, then the middle line is your quartile 2 or your percentile 50 or the median. Okay, so ito, guys, yung mga formula natin. Ano? So length of whisker 2 is, length of whisker 2, yung upper is bakit dito? Last one, adaptation. Okay, so mali yung formula dito. Yung IQR, guys, quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Okay, so that's very basic stat. No? So iniba lang natin yung kulay. Alright. Clear so far, guys, kung ano, kung pag-generate ng box plot. So dito sa May, no, may outlier dito. Ano kaya nangyari dito? Bakit may bukod tanging napaka baba ng temperature niya? Kasi temperature itong ano eh. Pag May, summertime yan. So kahit sa US, so I think summertime siya. So relatively mataas yung temperature. No? In fact, sa July, siya yung pinakamataas na temperature. Ang pinakamababa, February. Dito, sa month 2. Okay, thank you. All right, let's answer some questions. Okay, now what we did here, guys, was to first convert yung month into a factor. So, please take note, guys, no, na pag nagko-convert tayo ng isang whether character or numerical into a factor, ginagamitan natin ang as that factor. Okay? Now, ang character, guys, pwede rin natin i-convert into a factor. Yan, kunyari, variable, gender, as male, female, female, ganun yung observations natin, ganun yung data natin. Character lang kasi yun, yung male and female. But we can use that as a factor. Ibig sabihin, pwede natin magamit yan as to classify or to group your data. Okay. Alright. Dito guys, diretso na, no? ggplot2 pa rin, mapping natin aesthetics is equal to x is equal to factor ng month. Okay, ibig sabihin guys, we can still plot this without having to convert first your variable as a factor. Okay, ang advantage nito guys, ang advantage nito is that here you really converted already your character or your integer variable yung month as a factor. Kasi dito, ginamit ko lang siya dito sa pag-map nito. But your variable month still remains as an integer. Kasi dito mo lang siya ginamit, dito mo lang siya convert into a factor. Alright? If you plot this, guys, pareho lang yung kakalabasan. Okay, so these are just some notes, just review lang, guys, but we will not go into that anymore. Just quickly, yung box natin, sabi natin, represents yung box mismo, no? The first quartile, the median, and the second quartile. Okay, our box ito. Quartile 1, quartile 2. Okay, quartile 2 itong nasa gitna, itong solid line dito, that's our median. Okay, so and then the height of the box is your IQR. It's your quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Ang importance sa IQR, guys, it measures the spread. Ito yung middle 50% of your values. Okay, with longer boxes indicating more variability. So kapag mas malaki yung IQR, ibig sabihin mas spread out yung data natin, mas variable siya. So if you compare February, guys, ito lang yung ano niya, yung IQR niya, vis-a-vis with November, mas variable yung temperature natin yung November compared to February or even March, no? Para mas maliit sa March or August. Mas maliit yung IQR natin ng August. So the IQR is a measure of variability. Okay, and then the whisker, alam natin to, yung whisker yung sa taas. Okay, from the 75th percentile, add natin yung 1.5 IQR. Okay, they're set to extend out no more than 1.5 times IQR units. Okay, both from top and below. And then the dots representing values that fall outside the whiskers. They are called outliers. Okay? Now yung outliers, guys, maraming definition kasi yan. So dito sa Boxplot, kasi ang Boxplot, guys, ang parang quote-unquote nag-invent yan si Tukey. So si Tukey, guys, ang sinasabi niya, outlier siya if it falls outside your whisker. Okay? But others will have different definition of an outlier. So this is the Tukey definition of an outlier. If it falls outside yung quartile 1 minus 1.5 IQR or quartile 3 plus 1.5 IQR. Okay, so here we have by two-piece definition, some outliers, in particular marami sa April, no? April, May. Okay, marami din dito sa October, both sa above the whisker and below the whisker. May mga outliers. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Clear naman so far? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So, interesting to guys si May, ano? Ano kaya nangyari dito? What does the dot at the bottom of the platform may correspond to? Ano kaya nangyari dito? Kasi yung May, meron dito outlier, ang layo, ano? And we can get that. No? We can get that point. Okay, ito yung gamit ng dplyr, guys. No? Alright, so yung plot na yan, it's below 25, no? 25 degrees. Ano ba ito? Fahrenheit to. Posible naman na maging 100 degrees centigrade. No? So this is Fahrenheit. Okay. So below 25 degree Fahrenheit, ito siya. No? So let's try to see ano yung point na yan. Okay. So from the weather data set, and then filter natin, month is equal to 5 and temperature is less than 25. So you see guys how fast it is to access a particular data or a particular row using dplyr. No? Dplyr tong filter. Ibig sabihin ng filter guys, okay, tatanggalin niya yung mga rows. We used before yung select, di ba? Si select naman guys, ginagamit yan para ipiliin yung mga columns. Okay, si filter naman, ang pinipili natin yung row. So, sige. So dito ang gusto natin, yung row na may month 5 at saka may less than na 25 na temperature. So let's see this. Okay. So here you go. It's a table, a data frame. Isa lang siya, no? One observation lang by 15 variables. Kasi 15 yung columns natin. And it's coming from JFK 2013, month 5, May 8, no? 10 o'clock ng gabi, okay, nagkaroon ng temperature na 13.1. Okay? Nagkaroon ng temperature na 13.1. So it was way below the yung sa lower whisker, no, ang layo niya. Ang median kasi around mga 60 yung median, no? Around that figure. Siya 13.1. So 13.1. So well, it depends on the type of your study. Kasi pag tanong, ano kaya nangyari dyan? So it's either, what do you think guys? Bakit nagka 13.1 degree Fahrenheit na mas mababa pa kaysa yung pinakamababa ng December or November? What do you think could have happened here? Guess lang guys, guess lang. Just pure conjecture. What do you think happened there? Anyone, guys? Any guess? Ano kaya nangyari dito sa 13.1 ito? Okay. Of course, we can offer several conjectures or several guess. Kunyari, pwede siguro parang nagkaroon ng freak na temperature, no? Parang biglang. Okay, so thank you, Jonas. Yeah, you're correct. Pwedeng wrong data, no? Baka yan? Baka 53.1 yan, no? Nagkamali siguro ng pag-record. So those things, no? Baka 63.1, pero ang lumabas kasi dun sa data natin, lumalabas siya na yan, 13.1 yung temperature. So, uh, that has to be checked kung if it raises some doubts about our data. Okay, so tinignan lang naman natin yan. Okay, which month has the highest variability in temperature? What reasons can you give for this? Ano ba? Ano ba yung medyo matataas na variability? Again guys, paano natin ma-measure yung variability? And the chat please. How can we measure yung variability, guys? One measure can be the use of the, as I mentioned a while ago, guys, yung chat please. Yes, thank you, Vicky. IQR. IQR. Pwede natin i-measure yung IQR kasi may function naman na IQR. So, kunyari, check natin ha. Ano ba yung, let's see, variable ba siya? Tingnan muna natin data. Those are data. So, whether, ito na lang, structure. Yung mga ano natin, no? So, si month, no? Kaso factor na si month, no? Na-convert na natin into a factor. Pero sige, let's do this, guys. Can we compute for the IQR of each? Pwede ba natin makompute yung IQR? Kunyari, the function is IQR kasi. IQR ni nasa ano natin, weather dataset. Paano natin ko-compute guys yung IQR ng weather, from the weather dataset yung ano, yung month. Yung month 5. Any suggestion? Quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Okay. Sige, Jonas, did you try? Can you share with the class kung ano yung code na ginamit mo? Okay, you're correct. Mathematically, dapat kukunin natin quartile 3 ni whatever month, no? Kunyari si May, si June. Quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Example muna tayo. Kunyari, si January. Paano natin ma-access yung ano, yung quartile 1 ni yung weather natin, no? Just highlight that. Okay. So, paano guys natin mako-compute yung quartile 3 ni ano, ni let's say January month. Yung temperature niya. How can we do that, guys? Kasi kung IQR lang, guys, IQR lang ng temperature. Okay, so dapat, hindi yung mababa yung temperature, ano? Dapat weather, dollar temperature. Okay, so dito nag-error siya, no? Error in quartile, as that numeric, si X. Tapos may function muna, no? May code. Tapos may missing yata. Tingnan natin. IQR. Tapos yung weather. Tapos yung temperature. NA.rm. Baka may mga missing values. Yeah. So for the whole temperature, 30.06 yung IQR. Kaso ang gusto natin guys, what we want is only for the month of January, kunyari, or February. So how do you do that? And for that matter, guys, gusto natin lahat ng lahat ng mga months, paano ko computin yung IQR. Okay, so that's quite difficult, guys, with an ordinary na pag-compute lang, no? Pero guys, sa dplyr, which will be actually our lesson next meeting, pwede natin gawin yun. Sige, gawin natin, guys. That will be very easy. No? Sige, lagay natin dito. Here. Ito sa question kasi dito. Which month? Okay. Of course, guys, pwedeng visual lang. No? Pwedeng visual lang sa plot natin. Okay? Ito kunyari, December, November, January, December, and then January. Pero mas maganda, guys, kung iba, dapat quantitative talaga yung answer natin dyan. Kung tinatanong tayo, ano mga months ba yung yung maraming malaking variability? Sige. Let's plot that, guys. So let's start with the weather. Gagaling sa weather, diba? Control Shift M, diba naalala nito, guys? Ano gagawin natin? What do we do? From the weather, there's a function, di ba natin na-discuss ito, no? So group by. I-group by natin siya. Group by by month. Okay? So yung data natin ngayon, i-group by month natin. Tapos, anong gagawin natin? Control Shift M. Okay, what are we going to do? After grouping it, para makapag-compute tayo, guys, merong function na summarize. Summarize. Then, ano yung summarize natin? So let's create a variable called IQR, which is equal to IQR ng temperature. Pinapahanap natin IQR ng temperature and then tanggalin natin yung mga missing values kasi baka may mga missing values. So equal to true. Okay. Alright. Control Shift N. Tapos pwede pa natin pa-arrange, no? Arrange. In descending order. Descending yung pinakamalaki, yung mas gusto natin. And then yung IQR. Okay. Take a look at this function, guys. Napaka-simple lang, no? Napaka-simple lang. Yung group by, yung summarize, yung arrange, galing yan sa dplyr. So ang ginawa natin, sabi natin kay R, kunin mo yung weather na dataset, tapos yung month, i-group mo siya by month. Okay? I-group natin siya by month. So, di ba, 1 up to 12 yun. So, i-group niya, month 1, month 2, month 3. And then, sabi natin, summarize, which is used to compute. I-summarize na yung IQ, mag-create siya ng panibagong ng variable name na IQR, which is equal to the IQR function, IQR ng temperature. Tapos just to make sure na hindi mag-error to kung may mga missing values, lagyan natin na.rm is equal to 2. And then, i-arrange natin, descending, which means highest to lowest. Okay, so let's run this, guys. Run. Okay. Can you see here, guys? Ayan. So meron tayong basis, mathematical basis, di ba? Sabi dyan, si November, ang IQR niya 16. Si December 14. Ang pinakamaliit si August 7.02. So we're not just depending on the visual. Nakatulong yung visual, no? May idea tayo. Pero ito talaga mathematical. Quantitative proof talaga na si November, ang IQR niya 16. Si December 14, etc. Lowest is August na 7.02. Okay, let me pause for a while, guys. Okay, hindi natin, kasi kanina I was just thinking na, how do we answer this na? Okay, pwedeng visual na lang, pero mas maganda kung meron tayong quantitative na measure talaga. Okay, so if you were able to generate this, guys, kindly please answer yes. Para alam po kung nakahabol kayo, nakakagawa ng code. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yung next exam nyo, guys, di ba, data visualization. Individual pa rin yun. So I'm going to already define requirements. And normally, guys, pag ganyan, I give you around 5 days to work on the take-home quiz. Okay, so good. Okay, so something new for us today, guys, yung group by. I'm not sure kung diniscuss natin to last time. Yung summarize, I think, first time. Tapos yung arrange, first time din. So you can see, guys, how very quick it is, guys, to do. This is what we call structured query language, no? Or data wrangling. So you get the data and then we churn it, we wrangle it, we do something about it. Tignan nyo, di ba? Ang bilis. Yung weather kasi na, yung weather na data set natin, how many observations does that have? Okay, 26,000. Imagine, guys, kung ginawa nyo ito sa Excel. You can just imagine, guys. Just imagine for a while. No? Ang gagawin nyo, yung 26,115 observations na yan. Diba? Gagawin nyo, pwede yung iisa-isahin yung month 1, tapos month 2 naman, tapos month 3. Okay, ang gagawin nyo, i-compute nyo yung so ang sa Excel, kukunin mo muna yung quartile, no? Quartile 3. Tapos kukunin mo rin yung quartile 1. Tapos isa-subtract mo. Dito, di ba? Just with the use of dplyr, okay, ginugay lang natin siya, tapos sinummarize, tapos arrange, tapos in just a few seconds. Okay, so I hope, guys, you realize the power ng mga packages na. Okay. Boxplots provide a simple way to identify outliers. Okay, compare that with the histogram, guys. No? Faceted, ibig sabihin, naka-group din. Naka-group din yung histogram natin. Okay, by month din. Why is it easier to identify outliers using boxplots? Alam naman natin, guys, yung histogram, di ba? Yung histogram, depende siya sa mga bin-bin. Hindi natin talaga, mahihirapan natin tayo makikita dyan. Outright, hindi natin makikita yung outlier dyan. Sa boxplot, we can easily see. As defined here, ang ginagamit na definition dito ng outlier, guys, is one that's above yung quartile 3 plus 1.5 RQR and below the quartile 1 minus 1.5 IQR. Points below or above those points are considered outliers. Okay. So any questions so far, guys? Tuloy tayo. The chat, please, kung okay tayo so far. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good, good. If you have any questions, guys, please feel free to raise your hand, unmute yourself, or chat. Okay, next. Bar plots naman. Ano naman yung bar plots, guys? Okay, Boxplot, guys, ang pinaplot natin dito yung quantitative, di ba? Nari ito temperature. But we can group it dito. Pwede natin i-group by depende dun sa factor. Kunyari may data tayo, kunyari weight, no? Tapos merong factor na male and female. Pwede tayong gumawa ng box plot for male at saka for female. Okay? So, sandali lang ha. Ito lang ako dito. Okay. Isang example sana na nag-a-advise ako sa isang group. Tapos, anong ginagamit namin, guys? So far. Gamit namin ito para maybe it's here. Check ko lang. Close ko niya. Okay. Anyway. Okay. I just wanted to illustrate to you how very powerful and how useful R is advisor ako nila, so ito yung ginagamit namin sa research nila. Okay, bar plot guys. Ito naman guys, tinitingnan natin yung categorical variable natin. Okay. Unlike both histograms and box plots which are used to visualize the distribution of numerical variables. Okay, so itong difference pag box plot guys, numerical variable yung tinitingnan natin. And then pwede natin siya i-group by a certain factor. Okay, si bar plot naman is used for categorical, no? Categorical variable to. So sa bar plot guys, counting lang to. We're just using it to count. So we're counting the levels of the categorical variable. Okay? So ang ginagawa dito guys, pag counting, syempre ang ginagawa, hinanap yung frequencies nila kung ilan. So let's have this example. Ang bar plots kasi guys, pwedeng G yung bar or G yung column. G yung bar, G yung column. Magkaiba sila sa paggamit. We use G yung bar if the categorical variable is not pre-counted. Which I'll explain in a while. No? Tapos, kapag pre-counted naman yung categorical variable, we use G yung column. Okay, with the Y position is static map to the variable that has the counts. Okay, so medyo magkaiba sila, no? G yung bar or G yung column. Mostly ang ginagamit natin dito yung G yung bar. Alright, balik tayo dun sa flights dataset natin. Okay. So, I hope you have already loaded this. So, tingnan ko lang ulit dito sa open ko lang siya. Nasaan si flights? Okay. 336 observations. So this was the data that we started using last Monday. Okay, flights. Okay, ano ba yung susunod na gagawin natin dito? We're going to map si carrier. Okay? Carrier. Carrier, guys, is a, diba? Ano si carrier? Tingnan natin ha. Let's see, names. May names name ng flights and carrier. Carrier. Hindi siya na-recognize, no? Names ng flights. Okay, let's see yung structure na ng flights. Carrier. Carrier is character, no? So UA. Okay, kasi character siya. So this is another example, guys, na we can use this as a factor. As a factor para let me just check kung kasi may function din na let's see. Summary kasi pag tinignan natin si carrier, bibigyan lang sa atin yung count. Ayan. Length lang. Okay, but it does not give us the count of the different carriers. No? Pwede natin gamitin dito, no? From flights and then group by carrier, i-summarize natin by count. By count. Sige nga guys, can you practicing nga? I'll give you a few minutes, a few seconds. Use this in order to count. No? I-count natin yung mga iba't ibang carriers and then arrange natin from highest to lowest. Tingnan natin kung sino yung pinakamarami na carrier. Okay, application yan guys ng learning natin ng deployer. So, i-group by natin by carrier tapos isa-summarize natin then arrange. Okay, sige. I'll pause for a while and give you 3 minutes. Sige. Pause recording ako.